Okay, so here's an example of a degenerate triangle.
Is that the
Yeah.
unsolvable nonsense?
Angle, side, side. So what does degenerate mean?
It means that it won't generate itself.
It means morally wrong. Right?
And
So
it's-
you need a triangle that is morally wrong. In other words, I need to make a triangle that's not possible by supplying an angle and two side lengths, right?
Yep.
Okay, so to me at least that feels like here's an angle, right?
Got it.
So I'm going to supply that angle, and then I'm going to supply a side length that goes this way, and then I'm going to supply another side length that'll make this thing so it doesn't work. You guys all see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so how would I make a side length here that doesn't make a triangle out of this stuff?
As long as it's not long enough to reach your dotted
Really
line.
small.
Yeah, basically it just needs to be too short to hit the angle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to actually do that, I might draw this picture and then be like, okay, so if I make the angle
178
yeah, be a little careful with those, because if you tip it too far this way, it might make a triangle back there, right? Well, except that doesn't have the angle you said. Okay, see that? I don't know why my phone is beeping. Someone's emailing me
Would you make it
repeatedly.
we make it like 80 degrees?
Repeatedly. So yeah, I would make it like, go for vertical basically, right? Okay, so if you make it go for vertical, make it actually 90 degrees for kicks,
That's really easy to make it.
right? And then if I supply 90 degrees, and then if I make this 10, and then I make that,
2,
Anything smaller than 10.
7.
yeah, you
4,
guys see that's gonna be, it's gonna have to be anything, like, it's gonna have to definitely be bigger than 10 to hit, right?
Yeah.
Call
So call it anything smaller than 10. For instance, 1.
Alright.
See this?
So what would be our side, like that, or more like toward?
This should really be, because I've supplied a 90-degree angle, right?
Yeah.
So my angle side case would be angle 90 degrees, side 1, 10, side 2, 1. Or this picture is fine.
I thought.
Okay, see that? Another thing you could do is you could like label this the way we usually label these pictures, right? So we could be like, okay, so in one of these pictures, this side's like an angle A, right? And then that side's supposed to be opposite that angle, right?
This side.
So that should be side A.
What
And
did
then 10 would be,
C. No.
yeah, it doesn't really matter, one of the other sides, right?
Why did you draw side A tilting to the right if it's going to try to make a triangle?
It doesn't matter, it's not going to reach either way, right? So I would say that another way to phrase this would be to say, okay, A is 90 degrees, little a is 1, and B is 10.
That's an impossible triangle.
And that's also an impossible triangle, right? It's really the same impossible triangle, just phrased a different one.
Cool.
Okay, see that?
That wouldn't be, never mind.
So keep in mind that the 90 degrees has to be projecting that side length of 1, right? Otherwise this wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had A was 90 degrees and C was 1 and B was 10, then I would be able to make that triangle.
Yeah, because then B is.
See that? So this is not a great method of saying this because it doesn't really tell you that side 1 and side 2 have to be arranged in the right way. This is a much better way to say things. You guys cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
So I would prefer this. Or the picture. Either of those would be awesome.
Would another easy way to think about it is, like you could make any obtuse triangle that projects a side that's shorter than your other side given.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep. So another way to do this would be you could just crank this well past 90, right? And then make an adjacent side and something shorter for the opposite side. That'll obviously have problems.